While we are appreciative of the repeal of the MIDA Act, I believe that there's still a lot that needs to be done. And they say that they have all these open door policies, but what does it mean when current ministers, permanent secretaries, and officials who are empowered to talk to the media don't respond? How different then is the practice of journalism if there are still blocks to information flow between the powers that be and journalists who are acting on behalf of the public? That's my first point for today. And the second point I'd like to make is on the rapidly evolving media landscape that we operate in, with social media, which has somewhat become like a double-edged sword, where it can be potentially damaging, yet it is also a source of information for media stories. From our already stretched newsrooms, we have to invest time and additional efforts and resources to debunk, verify, and combat false narratives. And as an industry body, we see this as a need where we need to build capacity. And just last week, we had a fact-checking workshop where at least 10 of our journalists attended. And this is something that we continue to do as an industry body, building capacity, looking at the gaps, looking at the challenges that continue to flood at us in a rapid rate each and every day. My third point is that no longer is lip service that governments support media freedom. No longer can it be a lip service. Government need to put their money where their mouth is. Around the world, we see newsrooms closing down and news deserts emerging in a rapid scale that we've never seen before. For Fiji, while government can guarantee media freedom, more needs to be done. And we'd like to bring an example of what happened in New Zealand during COVID, where the New Zealand government set aside funding for newsrooms that were facing challenges during that time. Newsrooms here, and this is something that we as an industry continue to talk about, is the challenges of trying to survive. Perhaps it's time that government can also do the same and consider that. And I think my final point I'd like to make, and this is just reflecting on the past year, and that is the unity that has brought us together as an industry, as editors having to work together. While we are competitors, we also have very similar challenges, and I think I'll end there. Thank you.
Thank you, General, and members of the media here. Very privileged to be part of this discussion. Navigating Fiji's media landscape, reflections on a year of change. World Press Freedom. World Press Freedom is a very special day every year for us. It is an opportunity for us to relook at what we have done, measure the impact on society, our nation, and ourselves. And today I reflect on many things. I would be failing on my part if I did not say that it has been a tough road to travel. As head of a newsroom that has been around since September 4, 1869, I realize there is a lot of expectation, good expectation on the role that I'm expected to shoulder. And let me start by saying that being an editor working under the media laws that have now been repealed was tough. It was stressful. We weren't immune to the fear, the sense of insecurity under the Act. We weren't immune to the helplessness that enveloped a lot of the country over a period of 13 years. But then, we could be a catalyst for change. For that to happen meant having to live through fear. It meant having to live through doubt, insecurity, and that sense of helplessness. It meant having to make tough calls that could have been bad for some of us as editors. However, when I felt that I did not have the support of my colleagues in the very early stages of that journey, it was the people, the ordinary men and women, out there who provided inspiration for some of us to carry on. They had fear, but they also wanted something to cling on to give them hope. This is when the media must stand up and journalists must be engaged. Fear is real, but fear must never suppress freedom. Fear must be overcome. And as editors, we're expected to be the reassuring factor in a newsroom in the face of great fear. I reflect on some of the challenges we faced over the years. I've come through 2 court cases. I was suspended. I was sentenced to jail once, suspended 2 years. And I also had not even the privilege, but I also had having to go through 2.5 years with a charge of sedition hanging over my head. That wasn't an easy period in obviously my life and for the Fiji Times newsroom. I've had journalists arrested over the years. One of my senior staff was arrested 5 times and put in a cell 3 times by the police because the orders came from the top. One of my journalists was arrested and taken by the military in the middle of the night and left in rural Nandi and forced to find his way back to civilization. I've had people who've been abused and sworn at over the years. So again, as I said earlier, it has been a tough journey. Leading up to the election, we had a case of the former supervisor of election threatening us with legal action because of a story that we put out. That could have meant 5 years in jail and a massive fine for the Fiji Times. But we carried on. And today I reflect also on the recent findings by the Reporters Without Borders, RSF. So, they say we have improved 45 places from 89th spot in 2023 to 44 now in 2024. After 16 years of recurring attacks on press freedom by what they say was former Prime Minister Vorenga Bainimarama, they say the pressure exerted on the media by civil and military authorities has eased since the election of Siti Bainimarama as Prime Minister. And they've noted the repeal of the MIDA Act. And from 2006 to 2022, they highlighted press freedom was directly affected by those recurring attacks. After 13 years of suppression, it's good to know that such an organization noticed changes in the media landscape in Fiji. And that reflects what's happening on the ground. People are expressing their opinions without fear. And that reflects the value that they are placing on democracy, even if they don't realize it. This is what we need. Freedom of expression is essential in a democracy. We saw how the power of the people forced the government to reconsider the estimated budget allocation for the National Economic Summit in 2023, for instance. This is what it is all about. People holding power to account, and the powers that be, in this case the government, responding. It works both ways, and it is great news for the media industry in Fiji, the people and the nation. People are commenting on issues of importance and relevant to them. They have been vocal, and they are commenting without fear on a wide range of topics, from sports to politics. The ability to express opinions freely is a cornerstone of a healthy democracy, and there is a growing appreciation for democratic values. Our National Sevens rugby team's failures have attracted a lot of attention recently. However, it's the emphasis or the complaints on such issues as our water woes, horrific health system, infrastructure development, drugs, and other governance challenges, for instance, that are that are inching up confidence to express frustration and anger, and there is hope when the powers that be respond appropriately. Public pressure can influence decision at the highest levels of governance, and that's the way it should be. Power to the people and holding power to account. People should be part of the mechanics of how our country is governed. Our media landscape presents a picture of cautious optimism. The groundwork has been laid, but challenges remain. So we should push for robust legal frameworks that protect journalists and foster a culture of responsible reporting as crucial next steps. And in saying that, our ascent in the RSF index is a testament to the power of political will and collective action. There is hope for tomorrow when we continue on this path to strengthen our position as a nation where media freedom flourishes, empowering citizens and strengthening democracy. Let me end by saying that we live in a very, very beautiful country. We embrace multiracialism. Some of us traveled to work this morning by bus and sat beside people of different ethnicities, gender, religion. Some of us may have watched a movie last night or watched a movie at the weekend, and we sat beside people from different ethnicities, gender, and religion. Some of us may have had lunch in a restaurant or cafe yesterday, and we sat beside people of different ethnicities, religion, and gender. And a lot of us walk through the streets of Suva and pass people of different ethnicities, religions, and gender. There is no ethnic violence, nothing comparable to some of the volatile countries around the world. We live in a very beautiful country, but we have major challenges we must face together. We need to focus on our health system, and I think we need to focus on our water system, our education system, drug rehabilitation, and other pressing issues that need our attention. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Vijay, the Attorney General, and members of the panelists. Good morning. Good morning to all of you present here. I think when we talk about change, the first thing I'd like to say here is that the Media Council has come into being, and we are very happy to be in existence. We thank all those that have done the hard work since the repeal of the media decree to have the council come alive again. And currently we have 14 members. There are 7 public members. We lost 2 along the way. We now have 1 other new member join us. So the public members are the ones that are really operating this council. And I'd like to thank these members and bring to your attention, apart from me, we have Ashad Dao, we have Shalene Sahai, we have Naina Ranginia, and we also have Inoke Bainimarama and Shane Hussein. These are the public members that continue to operate and work with the council. The changes now, we are able to publicly announce our new coordinator, Salita Pulini, and she's now working full-time, and I thank all those that have supported and paved the way that we're able to have a full-time coordinator now. We're operating, and we hope that as we move in this new journey, we'll be able to have services readily available for the members of the public. As we talk about media freedom, I'd like to bring to the attention the communication rights that we are looking at, and it's always freedom of expression, right to information, and press freedom. And everyone engaged, whether you're a public member or a press or a reporter, we all have our freedom plus our responsibilities, and this is very important in this day and age. A lot of times we ham a lot on freedom, and then in the excitement, because of the way the landscape is with the media landscape and technologies, sometimes that responsibility is overlooked. Today, with the Media Council has a complaints committee, and the process is, if you are concerned or have something to raise regarding a media report, the process is you begin with the media company. You write to them or visit them, and you let them know of your concern and give them the space to be able to respond to you. Once you get that and you're happy, we're happy for you. But if you feel that you're still not satisfied, then you write to the Media Council. And that's the process that's important for members of the public to know. Because a lot of people feel that now we have a Media Council, we'll just run to them, we know, with your concerns and complaints. And that's happening. And they get disappointed when our council tell them, please go back to the Media House. So this is an opportunity for me to share some of the processes we have in place. So if you're concerned, go to the Media House and raise your concern with them. And if you're still not satisfied, then the Media Council will deal with it. And our processes is we do have a complaints committee, and these members are members of the public, and that they look into the complaints, and the decisions they make are then brought to the chair, and then this is communicated to whoever, whichever parties are involved. That's the other thing. I'd like to continue to congratulate our media reporters that have, and the industry that has continued to exist over the hard years, the past 16 years, and continue to exist. The wounds are still there. The narratives are not fully told. But we hope in time we'll be able to get these things, the story shared, and we'll be able to bring a closure and healing. That's something that I hope we'll be able to do. But it's important that our reporters continue to report. Your roles are very important. The public needs the information, and any information that will be important for public members or the citizens to make a decision on, that information should be shared. And when public members, when we citizens are able to receive that information, we should be able to raise our voices and make decisions that will be of benefit to the whole of the nation, and not just to serve one particular group or culture or religion or ethnicity. We need to be able to know that at the end of the day, the media exists for the goodness of the Fiji citizens and society. And that is something that I'd like to continue to call upon. So investigating responsibility, investigating reporting is also something that the Media Council would like to see happening. And we thank some of the reports that are now appearing and being shared in our dailies. And that's important. The press role is very important, and we can't underestimate that, but the responsibility is to ensure that all parties to that story or narrative, that the report is balanced, that their voices are heard. Something that is happening in Fiji is when the reporters get to members of the citizens or communities and ask for your story, they go silent on it, and later they say, oh, but that our voice is not heard. I think the members, and I hope that the Media Council in time will be able to go out into community education to share our roles, our responsibilities as a Media Council group, but also to encourage and educate our people that when a space is created for you to share your voice, it's important that you do that. And don't come back later and say your voice was not heard, because even no comment is a comment in itself. And we are learning along the way. Public members, citizens need to know this, and I hope that we will continue to encourage and pray that media freedom will exist and continue to exist in this country. We need to just take away that whole media decree and do nothing with it. Just put it out altogether. And I think that will be the first thing to be able to allow our reporters to report freely and without worry, without hurt and intimidation, because that's something that has happened over the years. Thank you. I would like to say thank you to the government of the day for allowing this process, and I congratulate also all the parties that have allowed this Media Freedom Day and giving we the space to be able to speak out here. Thank you, and congratulations again to all reporters present.